Hi, good day. So I just want to share with you some of the um, what will happen with the Sebahi visit. So our Sebahi, usually the audit takes 1 day, and it will be composed of a doctor and a nurse auditors, and then. There will be the opening conference and leadership interview. The participants will be the Sebahi surveyors and from the ambulatory care, which is the Rasiha Medical Center, the director, all the heads of the unit, and the other leaders of the Rasiha Medical Center will be attending the opening conference. It will be held most probably in the hall in our new training center. And the procedure will be like the surveyors will greet and the staff introduction. There will be the senior leaders presentation of Dar Asiha Medical Center and the surveyor's brief ambulatory care center on the survey structure. He will tell, or whoever is the surveyor will tell, what will happen during the survey. So the surveyor also will identify a staff required to attend other survey activities because there will be a division of work from the two surveyors. They will go with the nurse, they will go with the safety, so it will be a division of surveys. Surveyors identify the medical records and the personal files for review as per agreed time and schedule. So may agreed time. There will be an agreed time regarding the personnel review, the employees review file. Then surveyors interview with the ambulatory care centers leaders focusing on the leadership standards, roles, and responsibilities. What are those standards for the leadership that they will be focusing? First, the governance structure and the function, organizational structure, the strategic planning and the budgeting, human resource management, the patient and family rights, quality improvement and patient safety program, risk management program, and the contracted services. Contracted services like the third contracts or services that we outsource from other companies. We need to have a compilation of the contracts. First that they will visit will be our outpatient clinics or area. So their objective is to ensure the unit structure complies with safety, security, and infection control requirements. Observe and assess staffing ratios to ensure compliance with both the national requirements and the staffing plan. So ratio in ER and ratio in clinic, wherein in our clinic we have 1:1, one doctor in one and one nurse in the clinic. In ER, so they will ask the ratio in ER. Observe and assess staff practices in patient care and medication management. So they will be observing our nurses, how they practice in ER and how do they give the medications. So make sure we implement the infection control, we implement the right way of giving the medicines, the patient identifiers before giving the medicines, the look-alike and sounds alike medicines, the high-risk medicines, so they will all focusing on this. Observe and assess compliance with patient and family rights. So be familiar of the patient and family rights. It will all the documents that I will be telling here will all be shared to your desktop. Observe and assess equipment management practices. So equipment management practices. So how do you use a certain equipment? So you need to know this in a right way. observe and assess the ambulatory care center's readiness for cardiopulmonary resuscitation. They might page code blue, okay, when they go to ER. So make sure all our code blue team are ready with specific certificates of ACLS and BLS, of course, to all our healthcare professionals. Review relevant documents to the various practices in the outpatient area. So you need to be familiar with all the practices in ER, in clinic. Ensure compliance of available shops with safety requirements. So like us, we have our cafeteria who's been contracted. So they need to have the Baladia also. They need to come up with infection control course, fire drill also, fire safety, environmental safety, and we need a contract from their side. Now, the participants for this in outpatient visit will be the Bahi surveyors, of course, the ambulatory care center's facilitator. I, for one, will always be there, and Susan and Rishmi for the infection control. And also the OPD director or since we don't have and it's OPD director, it will be the head nurse and other staff. And then the procedure will be the surveyors visit facilitator, and for the OPD, they will visit the area. The surveyors observe the general layout of the center, Darasiha Medical Center. First, what they will visit is to check the cleanliness, general cleanliness and aesthetic appearance. So this is very important. Upon entering of the surveyor in the Darasiha Medical Center, they need to feel the aesthetic ambience and the cleanliness. They will observe the cleanliness. So our housekeeping is really important on this issue. Accessibility for the patients. How accessible they will be when it comes to the waiting area from the queuing. It's all about the patient's journey. So waiting rooms of the patients. Okay, so we need to have a dedicated reception and waiting areas for all our patients. Availability of the toilets, dirty utility, clean utility, and housekeepers' closets. So make sure our housekeeping closets are tidy and arranged. Staff are all wearing their ID badges and the chip cards. The crash cart availability. So make sure our crash cart are well arranged, well labeled, and we have the checklist, and also we are maintaining the cleanliness of the crash cart and even the defibrillator. We have the daily checking of the defibrillator, the evidence of it. We have the crash carts, make sure that it's all complete from the ground floor to the mezzanine and the first floor. Periodic preventive maintenance of the medical equipment. So we need to make sure that from Mr. Shamir, he has all the documentations of all our medical equipment properly made with preventive maintenance and calibration. The medication storage and the preparation, they will visit it, especially our ER. They will check our medication room, medication area management. Okay, so availability and distribution of hand sanitizers. So everyone should check your area if your hand sanitizers it's already refilled, or there is the frame, the poster along with it. Make sure your area with the wall-mounted sanitizers, along with it or beside it is the poster. If it's in the reception, it's portable. It's not a wall-mounted type, but there should also be a poster. Okay, so availability also and distribution of sharp containers. Make sure all sharp containers are well labeled with this hazardous symbol, and also labeled with the date. Okay, and also make sure that it's safe. Most of our sharp containers should be framed, attached in the wall. Okay, availability of personal protective equipment. So there should always be the availability of our PPE everywhere, especially in ER and also in your clinics. Okay, PPEs for the housekeeping, PPEs for the one who managed the biohazard. Availability of patient and family rights displayed or in brochures. So family rights, patients and family rights is important that it should be displayed in the facility, from the ground floor, mezzanine, and first floor. Also, if possible, we need to come up with a brochure. Availability of services and working hours displayed or in the brochure. So make sure the working hours of Dar Asiha Medical Center will be displayed outside the entrance. It should be from the entrance of the main entrance of Dar Asiha Medical Center, and even at the back. And also facilities for patients with disabilities. We have, if they will ask you, where is your toilet for the patients with disabilities, you should know, and you should know where to direct them. Okay, fire detection and abatement devices and equipment. So you should know your fire skills, safety. You should know when you are being interviewed in ER, you should know where is your fire extinguisher, where is your emergency response plan when there is fire. Okay, so it's will always be displayed in your specific unit. So you need to be able to tell this. You need to tell the race. You need to tell the meaning of the pass. Safety exits. So where are those safety exits? So you need to be able to tell which is the nearest exits when there is fire, whenever or wherever you are located. Okay? General security, we do have the availability and distribution of our security guards. So you will be able to tell that we have 2 security guards from the, what do you call this? From the main entrance and at the back for the emergency entrance. And we also have 1 dedicated guard for the building at the back going to the mezzanine and the first floor. This is being maintained by the building owner. Okay? Also, the storage of medical records for confidentiality and security. That's why we have our document control room, and it's locked, and it's having this CCTV camera to protect the confidentiality and safety of all the records. It is located in admin area. So if they will ask you, we have the document control room located in the admin and under the management of our medical record in charge, who is Mr. Muhammad Jafar. Ambulance accessibility and readiness for transporting patients. If they will ask you this, we have a dedicated ambulance services and for the conduction of patients transferring to other hospital facility. It can be government or private hospital, but our priority is the nearest hospital, which is the government hospital, the Mom Central Hospital, for the emergency cases. If non-emergency cases, we can refer them to any other private hospital, but basically the priority is Tadawi Tadawi General Hospital, and Rauda. The surveyors will also observe. We are still in the OPD unit, ambulatory unit, in clinics, ER. So the surveyors observe the examination rooms. All our clinics have the examination table, examination bed. They will observe. So there should be patient's privacy during interview and examination. How do you protect the privacy of your patient during the examination? So there will be your curtain, or while you are interviewing the patient, of course, you, the doctor, and the nurse alone. Hand washing facility. It is important that you will have your hand washing facility in each of the clinic. There should be the soap dispenser, tissue dispenser. You need to have even your hand sanitizer. Okay, so make sure your hand sanitizer is on the table of the doctor, specific, and beside with it is the poster. Okay, make sure that there will be no any cleaning chemicals on top of your sink. Remove it. Cleaning materials should just be with the housekeeping. Okay, if the nurses are cleaning the sink or you have the spray bottle with you, make sure you will keep it and don't display it on top of the sink or any worktop table in your clinic. Additional safety features for specialized equipment. What are those safety features? Specialized equipment, like when they will go to the dermatology. So specialized equipment like our laser machine. So there will be the guidelines. So you will be asked about the laser safety guidelines. What will you do? So you should ask whoever, dermatologist or the nurse in charge. The surveyors interview the staff also. So they will ask the receptionist. Most questions will be, how do you register, and will there be an appointment system? Okay, so the receptionist should be able to ask how you register the patient. What are those questions you are asking with the patient? You need to emphasize the respect and empathy with the patient. Compassionate. Ask the patient with respect. Okay? So, help the patients to choose the right services if needed. If the patient will ask you, so give them choices. Okay? These are part of the questions that they may ask from the surveyor. How to suspect communicable diseases. So you need to know what are those communicable diseases. If he's having the signs and symptoms of flu, severe coughing, sneezing, rashes all over the body. Okay, so all those COVID symptoms. So you need to know if it's a communicable disease. Okay, because we have the isolation room. Okay, how to suspect the communicable disease? So what I have mentioned, what to do in case of fire. The receptionist also should know what they need to do in case of fire. So they need to know the raise and pass. What to do in case of electrical failure or computer outage. Okay, when suddenly there will be no electrical power supply and computer outage. So obviously, the operations should not stop. So you need to call our medical records in charge, which is Mr. Muhammad Jaffer, to facilitate you in giving the hard copies. Or you can access our shared folders for your forms and print. Okay, print the forms and you will write it by your hand. Okay, or you can just No need to print. You can just fill out this and print, and then you give the copy to Mr. Muhammad Jaffer, and then he will do the scanning and attach it later on to the file of the patient. The nursing staff, they will ask you this while they are doing the observation, and they see you, they will ask you correct patient identification. That's the first one, correct patient identification. So patient identifiers, okay? Ask the name, 3 names for Arabic people and how many names for the others, okay? And then ikama, file number, okay? All patient identifiers you need to ask. The ikama name, okay? The file number, turnaround time for investigations. They will ask you the turnaround times. So these turnaround times, they will check with the laboratory. This is the result. How fast is the result of the investigations? Reporting of critical values. Okay, so there will be reporting of critical values. How you will report the critical values. Disinfection of patient equipment in between patients. So how do you disinfect? Like the stethoscope, like the digital thermometer that we're using. What to do in case of cardiopulmonary arrest? So we have the code blue, so they might call for code blue. Crash cart management, they will ask. Medication management, how do you prepare and how do you administer? Process in giving the medication, you should know the how many hours you have in giving the medication. Okay, right name, right time, right dosage, right frequency, all those. Okay, so review your medication administration. Process of patient transfer. How do you transfer the patient? Okay, we don't have such cases to transfer in other rooms, but we have the transfer of patient to other facility. What to do in case of fire? So make sure you know your race and pass, and you know where to locate your fire evacuation plan. Okay, in each unit you should know. You should know the location of your extinguishers. Know the location of your if you have your water sprinkler. Okay, process for staff sharps injury. So if you have the needle prick injury, what will you do? Okay, so you need to report to your head nurse, write an OVR, and then OVR will be submitted to your quality, and then there will be investigation. They will have the action plan. Okay, and then effectiveness of point care of testing. Okay, next, for the physicians, correct patient identification again. So the patient identifiers, patient assessment and care planning in your documentation, the consultation process between specialties. So the GP will assess the patient and then he wants to refer it to the ENT, to the internist. Self-prescribing of medications. So how do you prescribe your medications? Turnaround times for investigation again. Informed consent. How do you inform the patient and the instruction of the consents? Patient and family education. What to do in case of cardiopulmonary arrest? Reporting of your medication errors, allergic reactions, and adverse events. So it entails your OVR, occurrence variance report. Disclosure to patient and family following incidents. What to do in case of fire. Again, the doctor should know the race and pass, the nearest extinguishers, your sprinklers, your nearest evacuation plan. Knowledge, effectiveness of point care testing, knowledge on clinical practice guidelines. So clinical practice guidelines, you have your clinical guidelines in the shared folder. You will have the access to open this. Even our nurses should know the clinical guidelines, read some, and even your privileging for all the doctors, you have your privileges will be shared to you in your desktop, but the nurses should also read the privileges of their own doctors if you're attending his or her clinic. Now, for the housekeeping staff, orientation to the ambulatory care center and educational topics received. They should have an evidence that they received an orientation as a housekeeper. The general and mandatory also. And the specific chemicals used for cleaning. What are those chemicals? So, chemicals used for disinfection, cleaning schedules, what to do in chemical, blood and bloody spill kits. Okay, so review the blood spills, competency for the housekeeping personnel, waste management. How do we manage the waste? Do we have the biohazard? They should know the biohazard management. If we have the in charge there, so he should only be the one to answer the biohazard management. Waste disposal of regulars, so you should be able. So I would suggest our supervisor will be the one to answer this, housekeeping supervisor. What to do in case of fire, but sometimes it's not the supervisor that they will ask. Okay, take note of that. They will ask maybe one housekeeper is cleaning your area. They just might pick him up and they will ask him. So all the housekeepers should also be ready. What to do in case of fire? They should know the raise and pass, the nearest fire extinguishers, the plan, the evacuation plan. Okay, what they will review regarding the document. Policy on patient assessment. Okay, how do we assess the patient? It will always be in your shared folder. List of surgery or procedures, interventions requiring informed consent. Okay, so we have different consents from laboratory, from dental specifically, and also some procedures in derma. Okay, so consents. General consents also available. Okay. If it's not available for specific consents, so we have the general consents. Policy on patient transfer for higher level. Okay, so whenever we transfer, we have the policy. Clinical practice guidelines. Your guidelines, it's also being shared in the folder, in the desktop. The infection control manual, it's available also in the shared folder, so we will be sharing it to you within this week. Ambulance maintenance, so how do you maintain the ambulance, the cleanliness, the checklist of the ambulance, so head nurse should always monitor this. Open medical records, they will open some medical records from the doctor's side, so you need to check your completed patient assessment. Care planning with measurable goals. Evidence of screening for pain, nutritional needs, and functional needs. Documentation of allergies and chronic infections. Consultations, consent if required, patient and family education. Laboratory and radiology results should be there. Prescriptions, your policy on patient transfer for higher level care. Okay? In Medar Asiha Medical Center, we don't have a day surgery. In the laboratory, these are the points. So the objective for the audit in the laboratory are the following: to ensure the laboratory structure complies with safety, security, and infection control requirements. Observe infection control and safety practices. Review equipment maintenance and quality control documents. Interview staff for their daily pre-analytical, analytical, and post-analytical practices and reporting of test results. The participants who will come to laboratory will be again the surveyor, the ambulatory care facilitator, which is Doctora Rehab, and the staff will be there. The laboratory director, as I have mentioned, it's Doctora Rehab, the in charge, and all the technicians. The procedure, there will be observation of the laboratory. What they will observe: our phlebotomy area, the extraction room. So what are those equipment inside? The infection control. The receiving area. Okay, we are receiving the patient from outside to the laboratory so there should be the application of infection control too. Process of receiving the specimens. Okay, it's only the observation, plain observation. How do we process it? Adequacy of the space of the laboratory, the infection control practices. And what are those? They will observe the equipment area, the utility rooms, storage areas for reagents and specimen, and processing area. Periodic preventive maintenance for the equipment, safety of the equipment, the staff wearing the ID badges and the chip cards if we will be distributing to all the employees, emergency exits. You should know your emergency exits from the laboratory. How you will know? You have your evacuation plan. Okay, so fire detection and abatement. So you need to know your raise and pass protocol, your nearest fire extinguishers. Okay.